Turning a WestJet Encore flight quickly, efficiently, and safely is a team effort that requires planning and preparation. By following the strategies presented here, ramp crews servicing WestJet Encore's Q400 should be able to meet or exceed spot goals. For crews taking over the onload and departure of WestJet Encore aircraft, it is important that a briefing take place to discuss duties, a safety moment, and any other details relevant to the flight. For crews working the entire turn, this briefing will have taken place prior to the arrival. We'll join this flight mid-turn. The guests and baggage have been offloaded and the aircraft has been fueled. Guests are boarding and the crew is ready to start loading. The buckles on the aft door sill netting will damage the exterior of the aircraft if the netting is caught by even a light breeze. Either clip the buckles to the rings on the netting or leave the sill netting done up. The conveyor of the belt loader is raised high enough in the door of the aft compartment that the agent inside stacking bags can grab them without bending over. Not only is this easier, but it also lowers the chance of the agent sustaining a back injury. Baggage is sorted in the bag room before it is brought to the aircraft. When loading bags, every effort must be made to group baggage together to help speed up the offload down line. The agent moving baggage from the cart will place the bags on the belt tag first so that the agent in the compartment can read the tag quickly and easily. This will also make it easier for the agent in the compartment to load the bags with the handles facing out. Both agents loading the aft compartment are required to keep count of the number of bags loaded. Separate counts must be maintained for both the step and the floor. An accurate baggage count is absolutely critical to flight safety. This count factors into the pilot's weight and balance calculations. If the numbers are inaccurate, this could lead to an incorrect calculation of the aircraft's center of gravity. This in turn could have catastrophic implications for the flight. When loading baggage in the aft compartment, stack the bags with the tags facing out if possible. If a bag pull is needed, this will simplify and speed that process up. Be sure to load the aft step to capacity before loading baggage onto the floor. Door deliveries are also loaded in the aft compartment. Be sure to load these last so that they can be quickly offloaded first at the downline station. If there isn't enough space in the aft compartment, load door deliveries in the forward compartment. Remember to record them on the FLD. As GSE is no longer required, valuable time can be saved by removing it from the aircraft back outside of the clearance zone. For example, as the last few guests make their way to the gate, the boarding ramp can be pulled back and replaced with the safety step if it is no longer required. The safety step can also be removed once all guests have boarded. No personnel may step on the edge of the door, whether the safety step is in place or not. When all commodities have been loaded, the person of accountability, or POA, completes the final load details sheet. The POA tears off the top white copy of this two-part form and gives it to the pilot as they have a final briefing. The pilot will use the FLD worksheet to complete final weight and balance calculations. As the pilots do their calculations, the POA needs to remain available in case the pilot requests that bags or cargo are redistributed or removed. This doesn't mean that the agent needs to stand at attention outside of the L1 door, just that they need to be nearby and paying attention. In addition to closing the cargo compartment doors, ramp agents are responsible for closing the cabin doors. Check with the flight attendants before closing cabin doors. Before closing the aft cargo door, be sure that the sill netting has been properly clipped up. It's attached to the sill guard and pulls the sill guard up out of harm's way as it's secured. If the sill netting and sill guard are left unsecured when the door is closed, the sill guard will severely damage the interior of the aft door. Once all guests and baggage are on board, the L1 door can be closed. Once the clearance zone is clear of all equipment and obstructions, all available crew members conduct a FOD walk of the clearance zone. A final walk-around inspection is conducted to check that the aircraft has not been damaged in the course of the turn. As part of the walk-around inspection, the agent needs to check that both main gear lock pins have been removed and that the nose gear lock has been disengaged. If any of these locks are left engaged, the pilots will not be able to retract the gear once airborne, and they'll be forced to turn back to the airport. When checking for the presence of main gear pins, it's important to check for the pins themselves, since sometimes the flags on the pins can get wrapped up inside the gear bay, making them nearly impossible to spot. Before closing the L1 door, check that the handrails are in the raised position and that the handrail lock pins have been inserted from the outsides of the handles inwards. And now it's go time. As the doors close, the last pieces of GSE and safety equipment are removed from the aircraft, with the exception of the GPU. For efficiency, safety cones can be removed as soon as the GSE has been removed from the service area. Here are the procedures for a power-out departure. The marshaller takes up the 12 o'clock position in view of the pilots and confirms that the brakes are set. If supplementary chocks were required for the turn, they are removed now. Once the flight crew confirms that the brakes are set, the marshaller indicates to a crew member that nose gear chocks can be removed. When everyone is clear, the marshaller signals to the flight crew that it's safe to start the number 2 engine. The flight crew turns on the anti-collision beacon and starts the engine. The flight crew will signal to the marshaller when it's okay to disconnect the GPU. The marshaller relays this signal to a crew member. The agent on the number 1 side unplugs the GPU cable from the aircraft. As Agent 1 closes the aircraft panels, Agent 2 takes the GPU cable away. The cable is placed back onto the GPU and it's hooked up to the tug, and the chocks are removed. An agent performs a walk-around inspection, and then the GPU is removed from the clearance zone. Depending on local requirements, only one wing walker may be required. The wing walker or wing walkers take up their positions at the wingtips now. Once the wing walker determines that it's safe, they signal all clear and hold that signal throughout the departure, unless of course they notice a hazard to the aircraft or personnel. When the flight crew is ready, they will give a thumbs up to the marshaller, indicating that they're ready to taxi. Once the aircraft has departed, inspect the clearance zone for FOD. Be sure the flight's load details are sent to the downline station so that they can properly prepare for their own turn. Remember, SPOT means safely performing on time. It's important to work quickly to turn the aircraft, but no task should ever sacrifice the safety of you, your coworkers, our guests, or equipment. Work safely and have fun.